There are dark and unfathomable secrets discussed here. You will not attempt to understand them. There are dark and unfathomable secrets in this world. Mankind is not meant to know them. Agents of the program destroy the evidence and execute the practitioners of the knowledge these secrets impart. These recordings are the history of the failure of the program to do so. They always fail in the end. I've seen it. We've always seen it. We will always see it. We hope you enjoy your time with the program.
Welcome, everybody, to the program, a Delta Green podcast and live stream. I am the handler, Austin Baker. Just smacked his microphone and probably now sounds terrible.
Hey, it's fine.
But we're going to move on. Danny, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Danny, and or Jorgs, if you're watching on a Wednesday, and I am Agent Cohen, aka Ryan DeWind.
All right, Tannen.
Hi, my name's Tannen. You can call me that anytime, all the time. I'm playing Agent Nash, whose code name is Agent Nash, because that's his job.
Cool. Ben?
Hello, my name is Ben. I play Freddie Johnson, who is a paramedic.
And Tony.
My name's Tony. I play Stephen Barkoff, aka Agent Barks, or Doc, who is a surgeon.
Cool. And that's all of us. This is our wrap-up session. We actually finished the mission during our last session, for those of you that were watching, and we're going to see the aftermath of what happened during that today. I believe our first 3 episodes, which are the first 3 hours of this live stream, are up currently on YouTube. Check them out. We're Aureus Network on YouTube as well. If you want to get caught up, eventually we'll probably never, Twitch will probably always be pretty far ahead of our YouTube and podcast, but we'll figure that out eventually.
We're getting close. We're uploading about 2 or 3 a week, and we're I think 4 behind this one. So we'll get there.
Cool. Okay. To sum up what happened last time, you guys were sent to Marengo, Indiana, as part of the program to investigate a set of mysterious murders where 2 corpses had washed out of the Marengo Cave watershed into various places within Marengo itself. The strange thing about these corpses is that they're missing a lot of their parts. As a matter of fact, the only thing that remained of them were the brains, spines, nerve endings, and eyes of the remains. Was all that was left that washed up into these areas. And while investigating, you found that these corpses were somehow coming up from deep within the cave system. You met with you met with Nina Hartley, who is a DNR officer and a friendly who helped you investigate these issues by supplying you with scuba gear, helping you guys investigate some of the caves. You met with some locals, found out about some local rumors about the devil living in a cave nearby, investigated that cave, found a strange church carved out on the inside of this cave with a secret sanctum on the inside where part of the cave had collapsed into a waterhole. By swimming through that, you were able to make your way into a secret military base that had been abandoned and the entrance to which had been blown up years ago. Making your way through the hidden military base, you were attacked by a creature that was just a brainstem, eyes, and nerve endings that could summon this weird fluid that had also been found on the corpses up around its body and could shock you by touching you with its nerve endings. The only thing it managed to say to you before Agent Nash heroically was able to shoot it through its brain and kill it was more test subjects mentally to all of you for running you down and trying to paralyze you. You barely escaped with your lives. After you did, you took Nina Hartley with you, barely escaping with your lives. You then lit on fire everything you found inside that military base, including several files that had a symbol of a triangle upside down, green, on the front of a lot of them, which were files of the program, Delta Green, by its actual name. So this was somehow linked back to you guys back in the early days of the thing when you were still an official organization. Also, one of you found a book that was written in Sumerian. I believe, or was it Egyptian?
I believe it was Sumerian.
Sumerian, yeah, that was written in ancient Sumerian that appeared to have been being studied by whatever the creature was that you found down there. You kept that and hid it away.
Yeah. Dibs.
You guys made it. You guys made it back to safety. You left town. You went about your lives. We cut to Marengo, Indiana, where several people in hooded robes approach the Devil's Cave. They enter. It's a Sunday night. It's dark, sometime around midnight based on the placement of the moon and the stars in the sky. You see them entering. They go into that first sanctum area where the big painting of that strange green angel is on the wall. They push up against the side of the walls and make their way deeper and deeper into the cave. Soon enough afterward, more people in these strange robes make their way into the inner sanctum with the big carving of the angel into the wall. And they are surrounding that pool of water that you guys swam through, that you didn't close up after you left. Eventually, two more people join. They have a woman bound and tied next to them, and they take off her bindings and they shove her into the water. She disappears. Eventually, she comes back, the first of anybody they've sent through this passage from God to return, and begins to speak to them. And in excited voices, more of them begin to strip off their robes. You see Randall, the old man that you met in town, towards the back, bring down his hood. Nobody else is paying attention to him. It doesn't seem like they like him either. Several of the other people, a couple that you recognize from town, just townsfolk, no one you talked to, strip off their robes. They swim through as well. They come back with their phones outstretched, showing each other pictures of what's seen beyond. One of them holds up the picture, and you see the containers of Agent Orange that you did not destroy.
Oh, did we not?
I totally fucking forgot about that.
Ah, boy.
See, we said we burned everything.
So
That was you burned all of the files and everything in the labs.
Yeah.
You never said anything about the storage containment area.
Yeah.
I guess.
Did we use like
Mr.
explosives
DM.
in that room?
No, we only
You used explosives in the next room.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to say that if we burned Agent Orange, probably not the best for
We probably
us
wouldn't be
being
here.
in a
Yeah.
closed-in cave. I don't know a lot about Agent Orange.
As the handler, that was the assumption I made. You guys decided you couldn't find a way to remove it, and you couldn't burn it because it would kill you if you were exposed to it.
Yeah, which
So.
we should have just closed off the cave. We had explosives.
You see now back they're in. We zoom out. You see a clock. It begins to forward in time. You see time passing. We zoom back out of Marengo. You zoom into somebody's living room, and they have a map up on the wall, and you see several targets marked up, and you see orange dots on these targets on various cities nearby: Bloomington, Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., Portland, Oregon. And you zoom back out and you zoom into the backyard, and you see several containers of Agent Orange in the back of a truck loaded up with gas.
Those are a weird four
I
cities
do
to
want to
group
ask
together.
a question.
Props on them for getting that out of that water death trap.
Yes, Ben.
We did set up trail cams and things, right? I do remember us setting up surveillance of some sort throughout that
We did do that.
cave
You
system.
did. Trail cams, though, you do have to physically go back to and remove their cartridges to read.
We
But we have them.
Is it metagaming to say that we would do that?
I don't suppose so, although I don't know for what reason you guys would go back and look weeks later at all of this footage, unless you were trying specifically to find out who was in the cult, which is fair.
I
for
will
you guys to do.
I will leave that to the people who thought to set them up, because I definitely didn't. So I will not speak for what their purpose was.
That was my idea, because I was one of them who did set them up.
Could
But
it
I
not
was
be
also
assumed?
thinking it would. Yeah, I was also thinking we would be going back there like a couple times in the next week and not kind of doing everything that one time we were there.
Where's our good
Lined paper
buddy
does point out
Nina
in
in
the
all
chat
of this?
that Nina Hartley would
Yeah.
probably have the DNR officers go back and get you that footage, which is fair.
All right,
That's true.
chat
Thanks,
coming
DJ.
through.
Yeah. So you see these orange dots pointed out on these cities. You see this truck with the Agent Orange locked up in the back of it. Suddenly, through the forest behind the truck, you see several flashlights turn on as an FBI strike team comes out of the woods and you see their flashlights light up the house as they rush in, cutting the corners, opening the doors, kicking them open, pinning people to the ground. The next day, on the national news, you see FBI solves white nationalist crime syndicate in southern Indiana, found with military level chemical weapons, planning to attack various national committees for politicians and Planned Parenthoods.
Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah, that's about right.
Did they report how many Confederate flags were in the building?
A lot.
Too many to
Several
count.
Confederate flags. We zoom back out. We zoom in on a hospital. You see 3 children leaving the hospital. You see 3 children being picked up on various days from the hospital. It appears that whatever had come over them, they are now doing better. They're healthy. We zoom back in on a clock again. We zoom in on a calendar, this time, and you see the pages being ripped away, and we zoom back out, and we zoom back in on the same group of 3 children, older. You see the 2 twins in front of a computer, and they're Googling all of these various very complex neuroscience terms, and you see a jar of pickling liquid on the counter next to the children. We zoom out, we zoom back in, and you see the girl, again, aged 2-3 years older. She's in the forest mutilating a squirrel, and we zoom back out.
Wait, we jumped like 2 years forward?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Maybe she was just a serial killer. Like, we don't know that we caused that.
well, I don't know that we caused it. I think the trauma of what she saw caused that.
I think just living in southern Indiana does that to you.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of alibis here.
Yeah.
We
A
zoom
lot of
back out.
alibis, a lot of us not doing anything wrong. No responsibility.
We zoom back out. We zoom in. It's back set in the modern, like the current time period. When I do this in the future, I'll have them set out by how much time in the forward I go to. I'm currently just going through them by when you guys met them, basically.
Makes sense.
We zoom in to the apartment of Dr. Amita Kirchhoff, the doctor, and you see that she has written out on a piece of paper phonetically the words that the children would scream during their nightmares, and she's searching them, and she's got an old ancient leather-bound book next to her, and you see it marked with several different post-it notes everywhere. You see a tab set to eBay, and she is currently bidding on another similar book, thousands of dollars. You see she's transcribed some of this out. She's got a website on ancient Sumerian open. She's got an occult website open that doesn't seem to be leading her anywhere for obvious reasons. We zoom in on the screen, and the camera pans to turn so that you see her face, and you see her eyes are bloodshot. You look at the clock, and it's 4 a.m. We zoom back out.
She paid $1,000 for a textbook and her eyes are bloodshot at 4 a.m. That just sounds like college. She went to college. I'm happy for her.
Good for her.
Honestly, we're changing lives here for the better.
Yeah. That
We
was
found that
we
one
did
girl a
that.
hobby. It's
Yeah,
great.
we did that for her.
You see, we zoom out again. We zoom back in, and it's a month or two after the FBI bust, and we see a fairly new Lincoln pulling up outside of the cave that the terrorists were known to habitat at. A woman in her mid-30s steps out. We zoom in the car, and you see a identification badge marking her as a direct doctorate of anthropology at Indiana University, William. She has a headlamp on. She approaches the cave, climbs up the side of it, looks at some notes she has on her phone. You see an email titled from Sorry, Danny, I've forgotten your character's name.
Agent
I'm
Cohen.
You see an email sent from Danny Agent. Sorry,
Cohen.
Agent Cohen. You see an email from Agent Cohen Cohen showing describing the location of this cave. The doctor looks at it one last time, gulps a little bit, and then enters through the crevice into the rock. We zoom back out. We zoom in on Agent Cohen. What are you doing? This is a month after the investigation.
What I am doing is so I wasn't sure which this fell under. It's either continuing on the case or studying the unnatural, but I've got my fancy new leather-bound book, and by leather we mean human skin-bound book. I want to read that book.
Okay. And you have a pretty high unnatural skill, don't you?
I just don't like have levels, but for a relatively new character, I do. What's the best way to bring it up without screwing the stream up? This one. My unnatural is 30.
30. Okay.
Hopefully to go up in exchange for some sanity.
Page. You spend months reading this book to the effect of studying this just with everything you have, and it hurts those around you. You deny hanging out with friends. You put off your actual job, and you become just absolutely obsessed with studying this tome. Let me
checks out.
find doing this. I need you to make a sanity check.
Yeah, man.
Sanity check. Ooh, that is an 8.
So you pass?
I pass.
Okay. Yeah, you spend months studying and studying and studying this tome to the point that it hurts one of your bonds, which we'll get to next. But you're reading it, and a lot of the science here, after you transcribe it, like the things it says, it's bullshit, right? Like, it's saying that on like the third night after a blue moon, when the sun is high in the valley of Sumeria, if you sacrifice your personal understanding of the world and give way to death itself, that you can lock your own consciousness amongst the stars. And it doesn't make any sense to you. You're looking at a specific paragraph of it where it tells you the ritual you need to do, specifically, and you feel like you suddenly have like a massive headache, and a drop of blood falls out of your nose and onto the page as you take 1d4 sanity loss.
All right. I'm gonna just randomly generate that. Don't screw me, Google. 2. That's an average. Okay.
Yeah. So you lose 2 sanity, but the ritual in this book is still just out of your reach.
So I don't even get anything for this?
Nope.
That's lame.
All right. But to move on, what are your bonds? Who does this impact? Who does this impact the worst?
Oh, for me? This definitely impacts the worst, my old research partner and best friend, Deuce LaFleur. Because we experienced the thing together that got me into Delta Green. So the fact that I'm like diving back into terrible, unnatural skin-bound books is almost certainly very upsetting to him.
Okay. And how does that happen? What is the situation? Is he at your house and you show him the book?
I think the way that this goes down, because I definitely wouldn't want anybody to know I'm doing this, right? So I think that, like you said, I have like disappeared from my life almost entirely. Mm-hmm. I'm like missing work. I'm showing up to work late and I'm tired. I'm like not talking to anybody anymore. So this guy like comes to my house just to be like, kind of like in that scene from the Truman Show where he like shows up with like the 6-pack, like just to be like, you doing okay, buddy? Every time they think Truman's going crazy. That's what this is. All right, like he's there trying to be a friend, but in reality, he's like, I'm gonna call the cops if I need to. Like, and I think he catches me. I think it's like a, whoa, hey buddy, trying to like be cool, and he's like he immediately knows what's up. Like like his suspicions are confirmed.
He
And
opens the door, and you just like quickly try to hide the book under like a pillow on the couch or something.
I think I just play it up. I don't think I like try to hide it. I think I just try to be, oh, it's nothing. It's just a book I found. It's just really interesting. And he's just like, yeah, what's it about? It's like, yeah, Samaria.
Okay. Well, let's play that scene then.
Okay.
So you're sitting at home. Do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment?
I should have an amount of money. I have like a small house. I've got like, I probably live like either on campus or just off campus, and it's probably like a 1,200 square foot, like probably used to be a student house that like I just bought and kept.
Okay. So yeah, Deuce gets an email from the head of your guys' department mentioning that you didn't show up for your classes Thursday or Friday, and he fears the worst, that you choked to death alone in your house, and you are currently rotting away in your living room. So he goes to check on you. He brings, sure enough, he's got a 6-pack of beer. It's your guys' favorite. What college are you at right now? What college do you work for? What state?
University of Phoenix.
I don't think I'm legally allowed to do that. I don't know. What's like a small school in Boston? That seems to be what it would be, right? Like a
small school in Boston, like MIT.
MIT. Yeah, he's got a pack of Sam Adams. That seems like a good beer for a
yeah.
Boston school to get. He's got Sam Adams, their IPA they did for a little bit, and he knocks on the door and you don't answer. And again,
I'm at Tufts University.
Casey Affleck.
Yeah, we're
at the door. It's 8 p.m. on a Saturday. You don't answer, and you haven't been seen at work for 2 days. He knows where you keep the spare key. He lifts up a rock that is to the right of your little entryway, grabs the key, unlocks the door, gulps, steps in, says, hey, hello, and you're shut away in your office and you can't hear him. He gingerly steps into your living room. It's quaint, but nice. It's clean. You take care of the place. There's a microwave burrito wrapper sitting in the kitchen. You've got kind of like an open floor plan so you can see that. And it looks fresh enough that his worries are a little like given away, and he walks over and he can see your car parked behind the house through the window. And again, he's kind of confused. He kind of like second guesses himself, like maybe you just have a lady friend and that's why you've been skipping work, right? But he presses on just in case. He goes over to your office and he opens the door and sees you hunched over your desk with this massive tome in front of you transcribing something, and he says, hey man, what are you doing?
Hey, I didn't hear you come in. I didn't know you were coming over. What's up? Oh, beers. Cool. Let's drink those in the living room. Let's go
what are
in.
you reading?
What? Oh, nothing. It's just some research stuff. Grants.
Reading
grants. Yeah, I'm just looking into some stuff to, we're gonna, how it is.
Must be a pretty big deal, big enough to skip work twice.
Yeah, it's just interesting, man. You know how it is. You get busy. I mean, these kids, they skip class all the time. I mean, it's fine. Like, come on, are you really like, oh, I'm missing class? Come on, we're here for the research money. You know what that is. Come on.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm here for the research money, same as you are, but I also am, worried when you live alone, you don't show up to work for 2 days or answer any of my calls.
Hey, listen, this is bigger than that. Okay, I think I'm onto something here. The freshman archaeology 101 kids who want to be Indiana fucking Jones will be fine, okay?
Jesus. I had somebody ask me the other day if Nazi relics would actually qualify as a doctorate paper. Mind you, this was a business major who's just taking it for credit, I guess, but...
Did he specify which ones?
He didn't ask.
All right, no reason. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, certainly, Nazis definitely wouldn't. I mean, anyway,
listen, man,
this is fine. Let's go to the living room. Let's get out of this room. Let's go hang out. Let's go on the couch. If you think this
is gonna bring money in for us research-wise, show it to me.
I mean, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. You can listen. Like, you know how it is. I'll put together like a whole presentation. There'll be. I'll let you. You can peer review when I'm done. Okay, I'll let you know about it when it's ready.
What was with the? Can I see the book?
Man, I would. It's old. It's really delicate. I don't want anybody else kind of like even I don't really touch it, right? Like I just kind of leave it over there. Let's not worry about where the book is. It's fine.
We're both certified to take care of old books.
I know we are. I know we are. But like even I'm afraid to touch it. I just leave it where it is. Just
he looks disappointed and shakes his head.
And we're drinking beers. The conversation in our hands. We gotta have gloves. Come on, man. We're not in a position to do this.
Promise me you're not getting into that pseudoscience alien bullshit again. You almost
not
lost
bullshit.
tenure last time you got into that.
No, for sure. Definitely not.
Uh-huh.
This is just historical stuff.
He shakes his head. He doesn't believe you, but he grabs the beers and he heads back into your living room and says, I think the Sox are playing, and turns on the TV.
I stay in the room. Like I get like re-distracted, I think. Like I don't immediately follow him. Like I'm still just like trying to like get in some more before I walk back out into that room. But I think I do eventually follow him out there.
Yeah, you walk back in and he is on his second beer already by the time you get undistracted from the second time. And you can tell when you walk in that he is just looking at you, this just look of disappointment on his face. Because he's seen this level of focus in you before and it didn't end well for either of your guys' careers last time.
Yeah. And I like fake super excitement when I walk in. Like the Sox like hit a dinger and I'm like, yeah, like trying to like sell that I'm paying attention to this game.
Yeah, it's a double. Should be good for my fantasy team.
Yeah. You're still doing fantasy? That's cool.
You're on the league, man. And then we zoom out and we zoom in on Dr. Barkov. What do you got going on a month later?
A month later, Doc has been working on his relationship, or bond, if you will, with his wife. They have been going to couples counseling since he had his incident that got him into Delta Green to work on that relationship.
Okay. And what is your wife's name?
Catherine.
Catherine. And how has this impacted Catherine personally? What do you tell her you're doing when you're off gallivanting around, as I assume she sees it?
You know, I lie, mostly. It's mostly just lies. I usually tell her that I'm going to a different state. As you know, I'm a brain surgeon, so neuro can be called in to visit certain hospitals as the patient can't be transported to us. So especially when you're going to like Indiana, it's like, hey, there's no good doctors there, so I go and I do the good doctoring. So yeah.
If we ever make it big, there's gonna be some Indiana doctor. There's just a lot of hate.
I know some Indiana doctors, so it's fine. I'm friends with doctors, so I can say that.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
And what's your persuade skill as a character?
My persuade skill, that's an amazing question there, Mr. D.
The number next to the word persuade.
40. It's 40.
40? Okay, we're gonna roll to see if your wife knows you're lying. And she gets a 45, so she does not. She does not know you're lying. She believes you. She just
I don't
knows,
even have to pass. She's just too dumb.
she just knows you've been. She trusts you.
Yeah, that's right.
However, the counselor.
The what?
The counsel, the wedding, the marriage counselor, with their 32, they don't believe you.
Do I get to roll to see if I am good enough at lying to be below that 32? Well,
no, they're rolling against your persuasion when you are you're telling the story to the counselor, and I'm deciding beforehand if the counselor and if your wife believe you before we go into the scene.
Oh boy.
So we go into the scene. We zoom in on where do you live normally?
Seattle.
Seattle. We zoom in on a marriage counseling office, in the office of the counselor. Yeah. And you guys are set up on some chaise lounges, I guess. I've never been to see a counselor, unfortunately. Health care. I don't know.
Yeah.
And You're sitting with Chase Lounges, and the counselor is a shorter man who's got some big, thick-rimmed glasses. You see Dr. Tersch is his name, Tersch, and he says, and tell me again, how are we doing? I know last time we met, you agreed that when you were off on your doctor's visits to train the minds of tomorrow, that you would call your wife more often just to kind of set her at ease. Has he been good at doing that? And your wife says, yeah, he's called me once a day when he's gone, and I really appreciate that. And she kind of like pats your knee, and she says, oh, recently actually he was sent to, was it Indiana?
Yeah, it was Indiana.
Oh, and how was that?
Things went well. Some of it got a little hairy there for a little bit, but I was working with a great up and coming young doctor. I think I definitely learned some things from him, and he learned some things from me.
Really? And what was it you were doing?
Oh, we were consulting on a neurotrauma case. Some students seemed like they were in unreachable comas, and they wanted to get some outside opinions.
That's interesting. And you hadn't been.
As much as children with irreparable brain diseases can be interesting, I suppose, Doctor.
Well, yes, I'm better at treating people that don't have irreparable damage myself. And your wife is just beaming at you. She's very proud of the work you do. And he says, so the two of you, would you say your relationship has improved? It seems to me that it seems to you, what's your wife's name?
Catherine.
Catherine. Catherine, you seem to be.
Asked me, Doctor.
That was out of character.
We've been saying you a lot.
Catherine, you seem happy. Like it seems like the exercises you guys have been working for you. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. Like he's just been talking more. I feel like we've been sharing a lot more together. I told him about the book club that I joined recently. We've been reading, and he actually bought the book that I'm reading, so we've been reading it together. And Dr. Tersch looks and says, "Oh, and how far are you on that?" And your wife says, "Oh, he already finished it. Actually, he finished it before I did."
Oh fuck! Yeah.
Oh, and what's the name of the book?
Catcher in the Rye.
I believe it's Dune.
Your wife giggles and says, "No, Dune was last month. The book we read this month was For Whom the Bell Tolls. It was the poetry book.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
The Sisterhood of the Yeah.
Wait, it was
For Whom the Bell Tolls, the poetry book.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and Dr. Tersch looks at both of you and sees her smile, and you like, yeah, of course. And that's when he figures it out.
That's
and he says, and
he doesn't actually know how to read.
You. You don't know. He looks at you, kind of disappointed, and with a knowing look, you understand that he also has put two and two together, and he says, "Well, it seems that what I've recommended has been working. I don't see any reason to stop unless you feel like you guys are in a good enough place. So same time next month."
Yes, I think that. I think putting work towards this will always be a little necessary, and I don't see any reason to stop something that seems to be working.
And with that, you see his expression actually kind of soften, and he says, that's a great way to put it. And you and your wife leave. Where do you go after that? Do you guys go for dinner after Chancellor?
We go and get ice cream.
Ice cream? There you go.
That is our after therapy food that we like.
So you and your wife at Cold Stone, just smiling at each other.
We're going to Cold Stone. We're going to get good ice cream.
Good ice cream?
What the fuck are you talking? We're not going.
You go to
we're going to go to McDonald's and get Oreo McFlurries. Yeah, ice cream.
Hey, how about you calm down? How about you be cool about Oreo McFlurries?
Sponsor, damn it. What are you doing?
That's fair. You know what? You got me. That's on me.
I didn't realize your doctor was such a hipster. Like, no, we get a small local shop.
We go to the cups.
We go to McMurray's. They've been an ice cream shop here for 100 years. It's been in the family for a long time.
Yeah,
Excuse you. Their ice cream sucks, but we eat it anyway. It's how we get people to come to our town.
We're supporting local businesses.
Yeah, it's this ice cream shop has been here so long. They actually predate sugar being imported into the
They don't actually
territory, so
serve
they just
ice
don't
cream
use sugar
there.
in their ice cream.
It's called the ice cream bar, but it's actually it's just a normal bar.
They only offer vegan, gluten-free options.
It's actually frozen yogurt, but no one has the heart to change the sign.
Yeah, we
CJ's got a point. We go to Voodoo Donuts.
Yep. So you guys are ice cream, and your wife is on cloud nine. It seems like the counseling's working. You've made it an effort to call her when you're out on your I don't know what you call them, visits to other hospitals. And she is happy, and she is about halfway through her ice cream, and we zoom in on you, Dr. Barkoff, and you've eaten one bite of your ice cream, and the spoon is sticking out of the top of it, and you are staring off into the distance. It's like you're in a different universe somewhere. And she notices, and a concerned look comes across her face, and she kind of like waves her hand and says, "Honey, did you not like the flavor?
Oh no, it's excellent. It's my favorite.
Are you okay?"
Oh yeah, I was just thinking back on the case. I'm always worried that there's something I could have done better.
Honey, you always do the best. That's why you do what you do. And we zoom out.
Oh, thank you.
And we zoom in on Freddie Johnson. A month later, Freddie Johnson, what situation are you in right now? Oh, sorry. What mechanically happened in that last scene, Tony?
What do you mean?
So you were working on your bond. So I believe the bond was with your wife?
Yes.
Or was that going to counseling? Okay. So do you gain, is there
Yeah, I roll a sand check, which I passed, and
Okay.
then I get yeah, it's 1d. I increase by 1d6, which is
1d6?
roll now.
Okay, yeah. So we zoom back in, and your wife is at her book club meeting, and she says, "Yeah, the counselor is great." And she pulls out one of his cards and hands it to somebody else that's in the book club, and she says, "I highly recommend it. Our marriage has never been better." And she is just all smiles as we zoom back out, as this role succeeds and your bond with her grows.
Sweet.
All right, now, begging a hand, Freddie Johnson. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I felt a little bad that I didn't trust the paramedic enough to drive, since I was more of the backseat person. So I figured for this chunk in between missions, I would be picking up extra shifts and learning how to be a better driver for the ambulance and whatnot. Maybe take some extra like hazard training, and I'm assuming that in the bigger cities they would be able to have some. If there's a huge accident, here's how to swerve around things quickly, and like special hazard driving training and things like that. Because I would be trying to increase my driving skill.
Okay. And mechanically, how does that
ride? It would be the ride skill, right? Or drive off.
Ride skill? Okay. So we're trying to improve a skill. Let me pull that up really quick. And we'll have you roll for it before we do the scene this time, because that's the better way to do it.
If I am reading it correctly, I have to fail. And then
you have to roll under, you mean?
No, if I'm reading this on page 79 correctly, I have to fail. If the test failed, the agent has improved. Add 1d10 percentage points to the skill.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that roll.
All right, using the metal dice. Oh, of course. I rolled decently when I'm trying to fail. Let's see. 21 out of 20, so I still failed. Wonderful.
Okay. Okay, add roll 1d10 percentage points to that skill.
I go up 4, so now my drive is at 24.
Okay. And to do this, you have to reduce a bond by 1. So taking on these extra shifts, who did that impact for you?
My ex-wife, because
Your ex-wife? Do you have
little
children?
backstory. No. Something happened to what that was doing. Okay. Sorry, my PDF just went away.
You know you can get
My
pills for that,
ex-wife,
right?
We got married out of. Oh, yes, thank you. We got married out of college because I was going into Red Cross as an in-between of my bachelor's and med school. So the idea, like all smart children and everything, was to get married because that obviously helps things go along. And when I got back, when I was off with the Red Cross, which is one reason why I joined Delta Green, it made me realize I wasn't, or I am no longer the person that she had wanted to marry. To stay friendly, stuff happens, if that makes sense.
So we'll say that although you two aren't married, you got divorced, yes? You're cutting out for me. I couldn't hear you. I apologize.
He said yes.
Yes, okay. So although you guys are divorced, like you said, you still try to stay friendly, and you actually meet up. And what hobby did you guys have together that you participated in that maybe is how you met, other than or something you did together? What's something you guys used to do together when you were married?
Oh, something I still like to do and something we would still do as we were trying to be friends afterwards is I'm very much into hiking and she was very much into bird watching. So we kind of combined the two.
Bird hiking.
Yes, essentially.
You hike on birds.
Try to find.
They
like
actually watch hiking POV videos on YouTube.
Okay.
They put tiny boots on the birds. It's real cute.
Yeah, no, I get you. So you go and you guys go to what you guys go hiking together, and she does her bird watching while you do that. So you agree to meet up with her on.
And she had what?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say she would have like a little bucket list notebook of birds she wanted to find, and me hiking with her was one way she had tried to do that.
Okay, so you agree. You and her are part of a group of people locally that goes hiking together, and everybody's excited. There's some migratory bird that only stops in the national forest nearby for a couple of days during its migration, and it happens to be that time of year. And you agree to go. She's looking forward to seeing you. She has something she's been wanting to give to you, and you guys just haven't made it work yet to meet up. She's brought it with her. It's kind of heavy. And it's in her backpack, and they wait and they wait and they wait for you, and we zoom out of this. It's a Saturday around noon. We zoom out and we zoom into your apartment as you're like packing and getting ready to go, and you get a phone call from the hospital, and we see you pick up, and it's one of your coworkers, Dan, and he says, "Hey man, so Steve's mom passed away yesterday, and so he's got to deal with that. So we need somebody to come in and drive the ambulance. And since you recently got certified to do that, you're like kind of our only hope, man. If you could take this shift, it'd mean a lot to all of us, really."
Would this mean I'm doubling shifts today?
Yeah, I know it sucks, but otherwise we're down an ambulance, and I mean,
Yeah, we can't do that. I'll be in about 20 minutes.
Thanks, man. I mean, we're gonna save lives today, And he hangs up,
I
and you look at your camping gear, and you look at the message from your ex-wife that says, "See you in 20 minutes." And what do you do? The only paramedic who can drive the ambulance.
See, I feel like I should call but I don't know if I'm wanting to role play my divorced wife with Austin Baker.
You know you do. Come on.
This
Give
is
it to the
good. It's
audience.
therapeutic. This would be good for you.
It made me feel very
Right.
special.
Hey, sweetie, I'm gonna call you.
Okay, so you call and she picks up and says, "Oh, hey, you on the way?"
I was about to be, but I just got called in. Apparently, there's another paramedic whose mother. There's no other one who can take it.
I mean, there are plenty of paramedics. Like, you couldn't tell them no for once? I don't know why I'm
Not this
bothering.
time.
You never did before. Fine. You know what? I'll see you on the next hike, and you're gonna be at work all day today?
Yeah, I'm pulling a
Cool.
double shift.
I'll just drop it off at your apartment. It's fine. And she hangs up on you. And you're working this shift. You're sitting in the ambulance, and it's a slow night. You have your phone out, and you see a bunch of photos pop across her Instagram, and it's her, and she's with like the big group of people, and they're all hiking, and you see like the group posts to their own group Instagram, and they've got like a welcoming, like new so and so person. They moved here recently from the East Coast to join our group. They're excited to get some hike. Wait, where do you live? I apologize.
I never actually decided. I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
Where do you live? Make an assessment.
Let's say a suburb. Making that decision. A suburb right out of Pittsburgh. How about that?
Suburb right out of Pittsburgh. I'm not sure what national park they went to. They may have had to drive to Virginia or something.
Either.
There's got to be at least one national park.
Yeah.
There's a lot of empty space in Pennsylvania.
Does Gritty count as a bird that might have been passing through the park?
No, I believe he identifies as a national treasure and will not be referred to as anything else.
But yeah, so you see it's like introducing like 4 or 5 people that have moved into the group, and you see as the day progresses, there's more and more pictures are being posted, and you see one of those new faces is a man named Dale, and you see in the background of one of the group pictures, Dale and your ex-wife are like off in the corner, and she's like pointing things out, and you see he's got like binoculars, and they're hanging out together because you're not there.
And I am happy for her.
And you're happy
I tell
for
that to myself.
internal monologue.
I say that.
You say I'm happy for her, and right as you say that, Dale, the paramedic that is on the Dan, the paramedic that's on the shift with you, opens up the little door from behind. I assume there is one. I've only been in an ambulance a couple times. There was a paramedic. Says, happy for what, man? Did you score tickets to the game?
Yes, I did.
Oh, sweet.
Such a weird
Can't wait
lie.
to see the Flyers play. It's going to be amazing. I got some tickets next week, actually. My dad got me in some, and he looks at you and sees like the kind of sad look on your
Penguins?
face.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold
The
up.
Flyers-
Let's
Yeah.
The
get
Flyers
something
are in
straight.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Did he say?
Penguins are
You're the wrong
Oh,
Pennsylvania
you said
team.
Pittsburgh.
Come
My
on.
bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
I was trying to figure out why we were talking about Gritty, but I was just gonna let it go.
Sorry, the Penguins is like, yeah, I can't wait to see the Penguins play. I'm seeing them in a couple weeks. My dad got me some tickets, like right on the ice. It's gonna be crazy. And he looks at you and he sees your Instagram open, and it's on your ex-wife's Instagram because you're like holding it out. And he goes, "Go Penguins!" And he like shuts the door. And then he opens and goes, "Oh, we got a call. We gotta go." And you guys tear off to the city to a car accident. It's all the same. He's gonna be there. Rocky is gonna be there. All right, we zoom out and we zoom back in on. Oh, so sorry. You tear off through the city, and you are like you're in this ambulance, and you're driving it like a maniac. You've got the lights going. You're tearing down through the center, and this idiot in a big ass truck is in front of you, and they're not getting out of the way. And you slam on the horn on top of the siren, and the truck like just slams on its brakes because it wasn't paying attention, and you just turn into the next lane, out of the other lane, in, and you take the next turn across the intersection just flawlessly as we see that little ding 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 as your stats go up.
Hey, cool. That 4% does a lot.
And we zoom out and we zoom back in on Elliot Nash. Elliot, what are you doing?
I think Elliot would probably take the next couple of days just trying to get himself back into the swing of things. Probably just at work, trying to get himself caught back up on his active cases and whatnot.
Okay. And mechanically, what are you going for?
I'm going for fulfill responsibilities.
Fulfill responsibilities.
I don't know what else he would honestly be doing at the moment.
And mechanically, is there a roll for that? Do you succeed at anything?
Yeah, I have to roll a sanity test, and if I succeed, it increases a bond by 1d6.
Nice. Let's roll a sanity test.
Alrighty, let's see what I can get. Ooh, that is a 98, so no, I do not.
You do not. So and that's actually makes sense because of what I have planned for your character.
Dope.
So you're sitting in your FBI office and you are in the locker room. You're wearing some shorts and kind of like a lighter t-shirt. It's the day of your physical fitness test. As a federal agent, you're out in the field. You have to take a physical fitness test once a year to make sure that you're keeping up with your training. And we zoom out and we see a track, and there's a bunch of other agents that are all set up, ready to go for the physical fitness testing. And you're out there and you do the job, you do the run, and you crush the run. It's fine. You go into the sit-ups and you do the sit-ups and it's fine. And you move into the push-ups and you get about halfway through the push-ups and you just feel your upper body start to go numb and you black out. You black in and you're at the hospital and you were taken there by where are you located? What's your home base?
I'm guessing probably Langley at the moment.
Langley. Okay. So they take you to the hospital closest to Langley. And you come to, it's like only an hour or two later, and you're hooked up to a machine. The doctors have taken your blood and they send you to get an MRI. I don't know actually what kind of machine they use to check for
What are they checking for?
nerve damage.
I mean, I don't know. Sounds like a hard thing to check for.
They do an NCV test. So you look down at your skin and you see that you look down at your skin and you look at the flesh of your arms and you see the veins in your arms are just engorged and there's like some light bruising on the surface. And a doctor comes up and says, "Hey, we're just going to run an NVG really quick. If that doesn't bother you, do we have your consent? It looks like you may have experienced nerve damage."
I don't know what from. I mean, I suppose go ahead and run it.
Yeah, and they hook the machine up to you and they test you and they look at the results and they test you again and they look at the results. And they say, I've never seen anything like this. It's nerve damage for sure, but it's like you weren't like struck by lightning recently, like just curiosity, were you swimming outside and you shouldn't have been?
Now that you mention it, no.
The doctor just looks at you flatly and says, "Well, I don't know how else to explain what's going on with you, but I don't know that you're gonna be able to continue in your current line of work given the extent of what's happened." And we zoom out of this hospital room, we zoom back in, and you see some papers across your desk announcing you for a promotion, which is great. It comes with a raise. You're getting a 9% raise, which in the government is unheard of, and you're getting promoted, unfortunately, to a desk job, which is going to make you leaving for missions for Delta Green much harder, but you don't have to take the physical fitness test anymore.
I guess there's a silver lining for everything.
We zoom out. We see a map. It pinpoints all four of you's locations, and we see these like squares where it shows a video feed of those cities that you guys are staying at, and all of a sudden a fifth video feed shows up. It's black, and it zooms in over the entirety of the U.S., and then we zoom back out, And then we zoom into Portland, Oregon. You see 3 police officers' cars parked outside of a house in a suburb just outside of Portland. It's a pretty normal house, 2 stories, 2 cars in the driveway. There's a pool in the back. These people can evidently afford a pool. That's pretty cool, right?
Pretty.
We zoom in through the door, we zoom in. We approach the front door. It opens by some unseen force, and you see several officers investigating a crime scene. The only thing that's confusing is most crime scenes, there's bodies, there's blood. There's nothing in this house. Nothing at all. It's like something came through with an eraser and stole everything, even if it was nailed down to the drywall in this building. You see a detective walk up, and he's just like, I've never seen anything like it. Working theory, witness protection, I guess, but I think they tell us, right? Also, I don't think they protect the inside of your house. And one of the other cops is just like, I don't know, man. We'll contact the FBI, I guess. We got a missing persons for 3 different people in a day with nothing to go on. And we zoom out and we zoom in to the backyard where there's a garage, and we zoom into this garage, and you see a collection of electronics inside the garage, which has been unmolested. There's a thin layer of dust on a vehicle that sits in that garage, and we zoom in on a flat screen TV that is above the garage. And right as we get to the point where we're about to touch the screen of this flat screen TV, it turns on and a ton of static erupts across the screen, and we zoom out. Instead of looking at that flat screen TV, you see a strange screen bubbled towards the front with a white box around it, and the word Sinneschlossen appears in front of it as we zoom out into Portland again. Welcome to Module 2.
We hope you enjoyed the program. As always, this has been an Aureus Network production, published by arrangement with the Delta Green Partnership. The intellectual property known as Delta Green is a trademark and copyright owned by the Delta Green Partnership, who has licensed its use here. The contents of this show are Aureus Networks, excepting those elements that are components of the Delta Green intellectual property.